All right. Hi, everyone. Okay, so we're bringing everybody back to our main space, and our live stream is starting. This is so fun. Get excited. So basically what this means is that we are going to use the Zoom space to interact, to get excited about the Fridays for Future movement, and to get excited about the US Youth Climate Strike movement. So this is going to be a great event. We are live streaming to social media platforms. So if you feel like you want to change the name on your Zoom profile, if you want to do anything of that sort, please feel free to do so. But this event is officially being streamed to our socials and to some other accounts. So this is going to be super exciting. And if you're watching on the live stream, hello, thank you so much for joining. If you want to join our interactive experience and you want to, meet members of your community, hop on the Zoom. The registration's available at fridaysforfutureusa.org. So we are super excited to see you all, and this is going to be a great event. So we just came out of our breakout rooms where we took our social media photos with our signs and our strike photos, and we're getting excited and building up to the rally and to mobilizing this movement. So this portion of our event is going to be highlighting the local groups of the Fridays for Future movement. We love local groups. Local groups are the heart of our movement. Local groups are super important. Fridays for Future is a national and international organization based on youth advocacy, based on student-led mobilization and fighting against the climate crisis. So we are super excited to see a lot of young people on this Zoom today, and we're even more excited to get to speak with some of them and to get to highlight some of the local groups that are within the Fridays for Future movement. So in a little bit, we're going to hear from a few different local groups, and they're going to explain their goals, their actions, their demands. If they have anything going on today in person, they're going to take us along and show us that. So get excited. If you want to join a local group, if you want to start a local group, if you want to be a member in remobilizing the US climate strike movement, join our team. There are registrations available on the website. You can join a group, you can start a group, you can join the national structure. So this is a really great opportunity to get involved with like-minded youth and like-minded people who want to fight for our planet. So we're live. If you want to participate, join our Zoom, please. This is all about community building. We're going to have a Zoom flash mob at 1:20, and we're going to be doing activist features on our Fridays for Future USA Instagram account. We really want to highlight the young people and everyone who's joining us today to say, like, look at the community we're building and look at the movement we're rebuilding. So this is going to be fantastic. As always, yes, ET. Please feel free to share on social media. Please feel free to take the photos we just took with our strikes and our signs and take a selfie with you and your sign and post it on your Instagram and tag your local elected official, tag us, tag anyone that you want to see it, and we would love to share your work. All right. So we are going to start local group open mic, which means that we're going to hear from a bunch of different local groups. Let's see. Are there any local groups that are interested in going first?
I'll go.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sandra, and I'm an organizer with Extinction Rebellion San Francisco Bay Area. And we are working right now in solidarity with Stop Line 3. Stop Line 3 is a campaign that's led by Indigenous women water protectors. Line 3 is a tar sands pipeline that's bringing the dirtiest fossil fuels from Alberta, Canada through the United States for export. And it's being built in the Great Lakes area over Anishinaabe land. The water protectors are fighting it. They're putting their bodies on the line right now in northern Minnesota. And it's similar to Standing Rock. So Enbridge, the oil company, has hired the local police force. They're basically paying them off to inflict violence upon these water protectors. So Extinction Rebellion has sent a bunch of our members out there in person, and we're also doing solidarity movements across the entire United States to stop the money pipeline and target the banks that are funding this pipeline: Wells Fargo, Chase Bank, Citibank, Bank of America. And today we're actually doing a tour of shame, which starts at 12 p.m. on 555 California Street in downtown San Francisco. That's in solidarity with a bunch of other organizations, Diablo Rising Tide, Sunrise, and a lot more different organizations, youth-led movements, and we're going to be visiting those banks and letting them know that we are not happy with them for funding Line 3 and helping to amplify the voices of the Indigenous women water protectors on the front lines.
Thank you so much for sharing. What an incredible organization. We are so excited to be partnering with you and to share this event with our community. Highlighting Indigenous voices in climate justice is crucial. And, you know, banks play a large role in financing the fossil fuel industry and allowing them to hurt our planet and to pollute our environments. So you may have heard of an event similar to this one where we were trying to protect the Arctic National Refuge. This was a large group of Indigenous women and Indigenous activists taking action against banks like Wells Fargo, Chase, etc., who were helping fossil fuel companies who were trying to drill in the Arctic National Refuge. So we are so excited that you were able to share this today. Are there any other local groups who would like to share now?
I can go.
Perfect.
Hi everyone, I'm with FFFDC, and so previously before the pandemic, we used to strike at Union Station every Friday after school, and kids from DC and the surrounding areas would converge, and we had a pretty good group going. But then, of course, because of the pandemic, for safety reasons, we stopped striking every Friday, but we do still strike whenever possible, and we are striking today from 3 to 6. We strike at Union Station, which for those who don't know, is right in the line of sight of the Capitol. It's a really great location, and every week we would pick a theme. For example, if there was a climate disaster, we would strike in solidarity with the people affected by it. And we're hoping to pick it up back every week as soon as we can, as soon as it's safe to do so. But, you know, obviously safety comes first with the pandemic. And you can find us on our social media accounts if you're interested in seeing where and when we strike.
Amazing, perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. We are really trying to highlight all these local groups to show that you guys, action on the local level is critical. It's where stuff passes, it's where stuff gets done. So find your local group near you. Okay, we're gonna hear for some more. Okay, the next group that should be going is FFF Delaware here. We would love to hear from you guys. All right, we'll work our way down the list. Maybe like people are logging on. Fridays for Future New York City.
Hi, I'm
There we go, perfect.
New York City. Some of the things that we're working on right now is this really cool thing. It's called Youth Adopted District program, and here I can drop the link to it in the chat. But basically, we're trying to create a network to help youth organize and lobby their representatives, and this is like a national thing. So even if you're not in New York, you can completely like sign up for it, and we want to get a youth representative for every single district in the United States. So we would really appreciate if you sign up. Some other things that we're doing is we have this really cool speaker series. We're going to be starting our speaker series. We have a couple of dates coming up. So one, I believe, is in the end of April, and one at the beginning of May. So it would be great if you guys could come, and anyone's welcome to that too. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Amazing, perfect. Feel free to share. I see some people are doing this. Feel free to share any links, registrations, anything in the chat. We want people to get involved. All right. Our next group is going to be FFF Indy.
Hello, my name is Jessica. I'm so sorry if you hear my birds in the background. They are being so chatty right now. But yeah, that's how they always are. I'm Jessica. I am the founder of the Fridays for Future Indiana branch. I founded about 2 years ago or so. So we've been existing for a while. And yeah, our main goal here in Indiana is we have a really, really big coal industry. And so the air pollution and smog is pretty excessive, and it disproportionately affects marginalized groups, especially people of color, in Southern Indiana and Northern Indiana. Central Indiana has more of an issue with pollution in water and just overall pollution, especially in the inner city. So we've been working with politicians, and it's been pretty difficult because we are a very red state. And so just based on trends, it's a little bit harder to get that message across. But yeah, we've been partnering with different coalitions in the state. And today we do have some people at our state house striking. I am not there with them because of just high risk family members. So yes, but we do have some people out there, and we do have, of course, this, and we will be posting pictures from the strike and such. So I'm really excited to be having the opportunity to be with Fridays for Future US again. That's really exciting, and to meet all of you guys and work with other groups.
Thank you so much for sharing. Do you mind highlighting the socials? You can either, say them or put them in the chat, but if we have the groups, maybe they're putting it on Instagram Live or something, so we want to show them some support by sharing. Perfect.
All right. Yeah, I'll put it in the chat right now.
Amazing. All right, you heard that here. So in the chat is going to be some actions to support, so get excited. All right, okay, Fridays for Future Washington, are you ready to share?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Fiona Tracy. I am the co-coordinator of Fridays for Future Washington. I'll put our website link in the chat in a minute. A few of our goals are to demand action from elected officials, because we've seen that there have been a lot of plans that they've made, but they haven't done anything in a while. Another goal that we have is to push for Senate Bill 5141 to be implemented. And it'll help make sure the communities of color facing climate change firsthand are protected. So it'll help a lot with the effects of climate justice and everything. Another big goal we have is to reinstate the Southern Resident Orca Recovery Task Force, because Governor Inslee, he made a plan in the previously, but it hasn't been, the task force hasn't been in action in a few years, and seeing as they're just orcas are becoming more and more endangered, we want to push to get that task force reinstated. And then our last big goal is to help push for more renewable energy sources. Let me put our website link in the chat. But yeah, we're pretty young still. We just started up a few weeks ago.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, the next group we're going to hear from is Fridays for Future Missoula.
Hi, this is Fridays for Future Missoula, and sorry if the cars are really loud. We're actually striking right now outside of the University of Montana. I forgot what exactly I was going to say, but we've been just striking just to get any sort of action in the city of Missoula or even in the state of Montana. We're a pretty red state also. So there's a lot of people that kind of are like, well, climate change is a hoax and all that.
We've been flipped off multiple times.
Yeah, we've been flipped off multiple times in the last hour. And I guess you guys can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. It's FFF_Missoula. So yeah, thank you guys for letting us introduce ourselves.
Thank you so much for sharing. Gabby, do you mind showing us the strike? Are you able to turn the video footage around to show us?
Yeah, I can do that.
Perfect.
There's us right now.
Amazing.
Yeah, there was more people. There was more people earlier, but they had to go to class.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. All right. There's a possibility we might hear from a few more groups later, but it sounds like they're busy with some actions, which is exciting. So if anyone else wants to share a local group in the community, wants to share an organization, wants to share something that they're personally involved with, now is the time. We want this community to get energized around local groups and around grassroots activism. So if you have something you want to share, put a plus in the chat and I will unmute you in order. If anyone wants to plug a group or share a project they're working on, something fun like that. Joanna, is someone want to speak about a group in the chat? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so my name's Johanna. I'm from Fridays for Future Orange in Orange County, California. We've been going for a while, about 2 years, and yeah, we had a pretty good group. Now, we haven't been doing in-person strikes since the pandemic started. We did 2 shoe strikes for the last 2 global strikes, but this time we're just staying online. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Joanna. Is anyone else excited to share? All right, perfect. All right,
Hello, thanks, Liv. My name is Danette Abbott-Wicker, and we are doing a Zoom presentation tomorrow at 1:30 Pacific time. If anyone's interested, I'll drop my email in the chat, and I will email you out the invitation. It's a Zoom registration link, and you can just register for that. We're going to be going over some slides that you guys probably already know what causes climate change, but others might not. So thank you so much.
All right, perfect. Okay, I'm going by the chat. Justin, you want to go next?
Yes, I do. And actually, this is maybe not so much a direct action, but I've always wanted to kind of respond to this, because Greta Thunberg always stresses direct action, and and sometimes she gets into some kind of, I hate to say doomer narratives, but really that's what the climate crisis really is, and to pressure elected officials to act. However, what I would like to share is this project called Earth Haven Eco Village here in Western North Carolina. They're a sustainable, intentional community here that follows by consensus democracy and tries to be completely 100% sustainable and completely off the grid and everything. And I'll just drop their link in the chat. I think that this, even though that taking a strong stance on the climate crisis and emphasizing just how bad it is absolutely important to get elected officials to act. But what I also think is important is that there actually are positive visions out there that actually prefigure that specific a truly sustainable future where we actually do live in harmony with the environment, and that there's a way forward away from fossil fuel capitalism and all of the problems that we have. So I wanted to just share that project in the chat with everyone, because I think that would be a really good option to give us some hope alongside our anger and desire for change.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, we're going to hear from one more person. We're going to hear from Frank, and then we are going to have Lucy take over to explain the social media action.
Oh, hello there. So I would like to introduce myself. So I am Frank, and I am here representing Fridays for Future Digital. And so in case you don't know, Fridays for Future Digital is basically the digital branch of the Fridays for Future movement. And although it is mainly more international and not much of the USA, I would like to acknowledge that every part of the FFF is very important, and that a lot of members in Fridays for Future USA are also a part of Fridays for Future Digital. And I would like to acknowledge our current actions, in which what we are doing right now is that we just had an art build where we basically, all we did was created signs and basically put them out as sort of like a way of community gathering, and to also show our solidarity for the strike, considering that the FFF Digital was created for people who do not have the opportunity nor the time to go out on strikes, but basically always wanted to strike. And so this organization was created as an understandable compromise. And so I recommend that if you want to be part of the Fridays for Future Digital, I would basically put our Instagram link on the chat, and I hope that you join us soon, and that this is to be part of our international community. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, Lucy is going to take over now to explain the social media action.
Hi everyone, I'm Lucy. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm here with FFF USA. And for a social media action, we want to take one big group Zoom photo. So if you made a sign during the art build, if you want to just smile, do a thumbs up, anything like that, I'm going to take a big screenshot. And if you don't want to be in the photo, that's totally fine. You can keep your camera off. We're going to take a big screenshot. So And it's gonna, at the end, what it's gonna look like is we're gonna kind of put everyone's face into an image, like a collage. So it kind of shows like, hey, we did this really big, cool thing to show off the great success that was today. So once everybody's ready, wants to show off a sign or wants to just put up their hand and smile, I will take a photo. That looks great. All right, here we go. Oh, I love all these signs. It looks great, guys. There's one sign. Yay. Okay, next slide. Oh, I love these. You guys are so creative. It looks so good. Okay, last picture. 1, 2, 3. Great. Thank you so much, guys. This will be great. I can't wait to show you what it looks like when we're all done. So that's all I've got for you. I'll give it back to Liv.
All right, perfect. So upcoming next, we're just gonna keep building our community. Okay, perfect. So if you are on the live stream, come on over. We have some exciting events. The registration is in the Fridays for Future USA link on our website, the March 19th page. You can register and then you'll be sent a Zoom link. So make sure to come on over because this is all about interaction and community building. All right. Okay, perfect. So does anyone want to explain their sign? Does anyone want to share their sign or share why they're here? Or because we want to get back to the reason we're all here before we go more into our speaking and our other engagements. Does anyone want to share like why they decided to come to the strike today? You don't have to you don't have to go into whatever you don't want to talk about, but we'd love to know why people chose to come and participate if anyone's willing to share.
My name is Olivia Farrow. I'm vice president of Fridays for Future Delaware, and we just wanted to come on, show our support, and we think this is really great. So thank you so much for holding this.
Thank you so much for joining. Amazing. And Fridays for Future Delaware is another local group that you guys should absolutely go join. Olivia, if you want to link the socials or the website or whatever you guys have in the chat, that way people can go follow you, connect on social media. So amazing. Okay, looks like Zon wants to speak again. All right, whenever you want to go.
Oh, hang on, it wouldn't let me unmute. I have to lower the hand. Oh God, it's so complicated. So I made this sign a few years ago, but I like to bring it out for this stuff because I really like this. In addition to being a climate advocate, I am a gamer and an artist, so I made this graphic that is still on my social media to this day. Did that work? Maybe it worked. I think you should be able to see it. It has a little character from the game Overwatch who is actually owned by a climate scientist named May. And she has an unlockable voice line called that goes, "I'm going to have to science the heck out of this." And so I like to bring it out to show that scientists are in support of climate action. And it's got this cute little robot on it.
That is super cool. That's amazing. Art is such an important part of the climate fight too. I've heard so many cool songs written by independent artists and musicians. That is amazing. All right, is anyone else interested in sharing? Feel free to just take it away.
Okay, I guess I can share. I actually didn't have much of a sign that I built, but I actually had a book called Glass and Garden Solar Punk Winters. And what solar punk is a literary and speculative science fiction genre that basically shows a positive future on what a sustainable society would actually look like. And that actually kind of goes back to why I share the eco village. Why I share that eco village link and what my politics are. I truly believe that a better world is possible, even though things seem bleak as they are right now. And stuff like solar punk, I feel really does show a positive way forward, more so than just like strike actions and things. What an actual sustainable society would look like. So I wanted to share that positive vision with the group.
That's amazing. All right. Anyone else interested in sharing? All right, Ava, perfect. And then for future reference, anyone, if you want to share, write in the chat and I will unmute you. All right, Ava, take it away.
It's kind of like what my sign is, and it says prioritize planet over profit. And that's one thing I like to say a lot, because so many times, in so many instances, you see people especially like leaders, prioritizing profit over planet when it should really be the other way around. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. I'll share my sign real quick. This is my sign. I put a lot of glitter on it because I got very excited when I made it. For reference, it says the oceans are rising and so are we. I actually started my environmental activism in marine biology, in marine conservation. I love sharks, which a lot of people hate sharks. Don't hate sharks. They're super cool. But I started all of my environmental work doing marine conservation and shark conservation, and I still do it. But I kind of realized that the ecological collapse happening in our oceans was a result of the climate crisis. So then I, hopped on the climate train as well, and now we're here. So this is fun. The strike has been with me since the first global climate strike, March 2019. So it's had some good days, and hopefully it'll see some more. All right. Anyone else interested in sharing? Jenner, you want to share?
Hi. Want to say hi? Hi. I've been involved with a lot of climate stuff over the years, but with a lot of climate stuff. But I'm from Oregon, and the forests that I grew up in, like my whole family had to evacuate this last summer. And every time we live in New York City now. I'm actually eating a croissant. He's actually eating a croissant. But so the last couple of summers, every year when we try to go back for the in the summer, and every year the fires are just getting worse. My family kept their house this year, but it's on top of everything else. It's just devastating. And, yeah, that's devastating. Yeah. So just not to be a bummer, but it's definitely a big part of why I'm feeling that push to not give up. Yep, not give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Yeah, don't give up. Yeah, don't give up. Keep going. Keep going. Thanks.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. And you're totally right. Air pollution and, all of the smoke and the soot from wildfires and things like this, especially happening on the West Coast and the Pacific Northwest, is huge, huge impact on people. Yeah. All right. Anyone else interested in sharing? You can show your sign, you can talk about yourself, you can plug an organization, whatever you want to do.
I will.
Okay, perfect.
Bill Huntington, Dr. Bill from the Orange County group. I have a sign. I'm a retired emergency room doctor, and so I have a sign that says, "Prevent pandemics," and got a little sticker, "Windmills, not weapons," from Progressive Democrats of America. So people don't often tie in pandemics with global temperature rises, which is, of course, releasing more of these novel viruses and bacteria that will affect us more and more, as climate scientists tell us. So I think it's important to raise awareness that way. We're, of course, right in the middle of the biggest one we've ever seen so far. So, besides pandemics, we've got toxic exposures, we've got traumatic climate disruptions. So all of those things are public health issues, and I think that's really important to raise awareness. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. No, definitely the connection between climate and pandemics is one that is definitely, we need to explore it, and it's something that I definitely learned about for the first time. So it's a really interesting topic.
Land use change, especially, is definitely linked to pandemics and stuff. I mean, everything from like SARS to current coronavirus are highly linked to land use change and the exploitation and abuse of wildlife.
Yeah, and deforestation, especially when we kind of encroach on wildlife habitats. Yeah, for sure. That's a great point. I'm seeing some messages in the chat talking about the Instagram live stream. We are fixing that right now. Okay. Is anyone else interested in sharing?
I can go real quick.
You have an awesome sign. Oh, Daniel, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. I can go real quick. I'm Dan Heller. I'm Dan. I'm in Kingston, New York. So New York State. So and so helping a little bit to help some groups get up here. We're going to do some climate strikes, like shoe strikes, a little up and down the state, and even simple ones. So it'll be fun. We'll put them online later.
Awesome. And feel free to share any links or registration in the chat. Okay. All right. Who's the next person? Olivia wants to share. Olivia O'Donnell.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to talk about a project I'm working on for my Girl Scout Gold Award, and I'm focusing on endocrine disrupting chemicals, which are a major pollutant in a lot of local waterways, including the Potomac, which is near me in DC. And I have been focusing on telling people about what they can do personally about the problem. So I have an Instagram account and with a lot of helpful links and ways to clean up the products you use. So if you're interested, I will put it in the chat. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. Yes, please share. All right, Kat, did you want to share something?
I do. I want to share that the global strike went digital and broke the internet. We are part of the global strike that is like breaking the internet. We had to get off the streets and onto the internet. And you know what? We broke the internet. Instagram is down. YouTube's having problems because across the world, we are striking. And it doesn't matter that people can actually see what we're saying right now, because there are so many of us that are demanding change that literally the infrastructure out there can't handle it. So yes, Instagram's down. YouTube might be down. It is a sign that we are out there. We may not be in the streets, but the movement is still alive. So carry this out there. Anybody that you see that's like, oh yeah, the stream went down, be like, yeah, because we broke the friggin' internet. This is what we need to keep going. This is what we need to carry on. So thank you everyone who's here and helped break the internet today.
I would like to acknowledge something. I apologize for interjecting, but I would like to say something. You see, it shows the mighty impactfulness of Fridays for Future. In fact, Fridays for Future, that what we're doing is so amazing and so inspiring that even the internet itself decided to go out on strike today. The internet wants to go on strike because the internet wants to join us. That's how persuasive we are and how impactful we are as a movement. That just think about it. The internet, a thing that's not even sentient and doesn't need, hypothetically, is not even alive, decides to go out on strike today and wants to join us. In fact, I think someone should just make a meme about it, that the internet just went on strike.
That's our new catchphrase.
On stats. Someone make a meme about that right now, because I swear this will be a very good tool to show the impactfulness of our amazing movement. Just say the internet went on strike and we'll be good. Because you're missing on a great opportunity here. You're missing on a great opportunity to make that meme. I'm telling you, it's out there. Do it now before some dumb idiot took it or it just dies.
I'm the graphic lady, so I'll do it.
Yeah, amazing on top of it.
We better do it. It's right there. That meme is right there. It's right there. Take it. Grab it while there's still time.
Yep, absolutely. We intend to take full advantage of that for PR. All right. Okay. So, I mean, literally this just shows you what we can do on Zoom, right? Like, we have all been sitting in our houses, in our apartments, in our homes for the past year, feeling so disconnected. And the first time we get back as a community, the freaking internet breaks. So welcome back, you guys. This is the real deal. So that's pretty freaking exciting. All right. On top of that, I don't know how anyone's going to follow that, but if anyone wants to try, we would love to hear some more people speak and share their signs or talk about an organization. Maybe we can continue to break the internet. Anyone? Going once, going twice?
Looks like Zam's got his hand raised.
Sorry. Who would that be?
Zam? I think it's his
Oh,
hand
perfect.
raised.
Oh, sorry. All right. There you go. You should be good now.
Hi. Wow, there are so many buttons to raise and lower hand. I see why no one uses it. In addition to the sign that I already made, because I am an artist, I'm going to be doing a sketch that uses the Fridays for Future hashtag, as well as some of the more popular climate slogans. And I'm just going to do that in my sketchbook, and I'm going to post progress of that, assuming Instagram comes back at some point. And if not, I'll post them later when the internet is fixed. And I would encourage other people to do that as well, because even if you're just doodling something or making a little pattern, anything that you can put out into the internet is something that might make someone stop and say, hey, this is a cool thing. Why are they doing this? And then maybe go back and look at Fridays for Future and join.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. If you want to join the movement, I mean, we're all here today to see the impact we can make, right? Clearly, if we broke the internet, we're doing something right. So if you want to join our movement, fridaysforfutureusa.org, Fridays for Future is an international organization. If you want to join the US movement, if you want to start a local group, if you want to get involved with a local group, the national structure is here as a resource base to help local groups. Local groups are it. Local groups are the heart of this movement. Local groups are why we strike. National is just to unify our message and to say, hey, like the US needs to act on climate. We're not demanding any more empty promises. So amazing. Okay, if you want to register, you know where, please do. We're excited to work with you. And if anyone else wants to share, let's see, who wants to go next?
I would go next. So first, I would like to say about my latest climate sign. It's not much, but it's the best you can do. And so what I just did is it's very as you can see the simplistic design of this. As it says here, like we have the hashtag Fridays for Future, of course. We also have the no more empty promises, and we also basically have here of sort of like a self-made Fridays for Future logo. I know it's not the best best drawing of our Fridays for Future logo, but it's the best of my art skills that I can at least do. So yeah, simplistic, but the simplicity counts. It's all counts in the end.
Love it. All right, I'm going to give us one more reminder of why we're here today, okay? I'm just going to go over the general topic and encourage you to elaborate on it and expand and bring it back to your community. So today, March 19th, 2021 is a global climate strike date. If you didn't know that, you know now. It's why we're here today. We are relaunching the Fridays for Future United States chapter. New group of organizers, new people, really excited to get the strike movement back up and running in the United States. So we are so excited that you are all here. The international theme for today's strike is hashtag no more empty promises. We are demanding that our governments take immediate direct action on climate. We are tired of the greenwashing. We are tired of them saying, yes, we have aggressive climate policies and not doing anything, because at the end of the day, it is easy to speak and it is easy to say, we are doing this, we want to do this, this is our intent, here are our demands. But if you don't actually get anything done, the intent is appreciated, but we need action. We have 8 years left to fix this planet. Some parts of the globe have experienced 1.2 degrees Celsius temperature increases. That is devastating. That is on the verge. We are on the verge of complete ecological collapse. And I don't say this to freak everyone out, because you can't let yourself go down the wormhole. It's a scary thought. It's a scary topic, but that's why we're here today. So we need you to get involved. We need you to share on social media. We've just learned that social media and the internet is a fantastic mobilizing platform. Just get your voice out there. When we come together, we're stronger. So basically, in the United States, this is how we are attacking this launch. We just wrapped up a month-long informational campaign on our social media. Feel free to check that out. And that is centering around the Biden administration COVID economic recovery, Build Back Green. What that means is that Biden essentially, we want the same thing, is to hold climate action as an integral piece of US foreign policy and in US security. So climate change is being added to the National Security Council. Climate change is being added to all of these cabinets and all of these very important settings where climate needs to be discussed, and climate needs to not be seen as like, oh, that's an environmental issue, that's for PETA, that's not. It's a security issue, it's a policy issue, it's a diplomacy issue, it's a social justice issue, it is an everything issue. Hence why we are still in this mess. So our campaign, Build Back Green, is a little play on words of the Biden administration plan, because we are demanding that climate is centered and social justice are centered in a COVID economic recovery. We believe that the United States, as the world's second largest polluter, needs to be held accountable, and that wealthy countries in the global north need to clean up their messes. We are not causing messes and pushing them off onto the global south any longer. We are not causing messes and saying, this is your problem now. We're not doing that anymore. We need the US to be held accountable to the problems that we have created. And that requires acknowledging the destruction that we have caused and saying that we are not any longer going to invest in systems that displace and hurt other people. So our goal, we want renewable energy infrastructure and clean jobs surrounding climate at the center of the economic plan. Obviously, Biden had extensive campaign promises. Now our job is to hold them to him. It's easy to speak. We need people to act. So we had 4 topics for our informational campaign. First, we went on current science. We went on what is the Paris Agreement? What is Kyoto? What are all of these conferences saying that we need to do? What is the action that we need to take to save this planet? So we talked about findings in the IPCC report. We talked about carbon neutrality, carbon negativity. We talked about legacy carbon. The second topic, social justice, intersection, and green recovery. Climate is a social justice issue. It's not a white environmental issue. It's an issue for low-income people of color. It's an issue for every single community on the front line. It is not an issue that should be led by the wealthy. It is an issue that really stems to the roots of all oppressive systems. So we need people from all backgrounds to get together on this. So our first topic on that, climate justice is racial justice. We explored environmental racism, which is a massive topic and has so many effects on people. The United States, for example, is actually currently in a deal with Kenya. It's called the US-Kenya plastic trade, where we pay Kenya to take our recyclables, which is perpetrating environmental colonialism and environmental racism onto other countries. So we pay them to take our trash, and we pay other countries to clean up our messes, and that is not acceptable. We need an economic revolution. Our third topic was investing in a global green recovery. So we need countries, all of them, to get together. The problem with the Paris Climate Agreement is that it was not binding. That's the problem with international forums, is that they're voluntary, that countries and governments can say, oh yeah, like we'd love to look like we're taking action, but if we can't still pollute, we're out. So there is no way to hold people accountable in international court, which is why we need to fight this fight at home, which is why we need to go to our local governments, our local legislature, we need to go to our national governments, and we need to say, we make these decisions before we go to the conferences, and here's what we decide. The UN has failed to deliver. We know that we know these climate talks aren't working, which is why we need people to mobilize at home in their countries, hence why we're all here today. I touched on the issue of accountability. And then the fourth subtopic was a US green revolution. So we need the United States to completely become a leader on climate and to, just start the global green economy. It needs to be a complete economic revolution. It needs to center renewable energy, and it needs to center jobs around climate. So those are our demands, and that was our campaign, all centering around building back green. So that is the reason we're here today, is to demand US climate action. Yeah, and it's not to say that international countries coming together in forums and in climate discussions and negotiations, it's bad. It's just that when there's no accountability and when there's no holding countries to their promises and holding people, no more empty promises, nothing gets done. So we have to demand action and we have to enforce it. So that was quite an angry rant. If anyone wants to share something that they're inspired by, maybe there's something on that campaign that they want to elaborate on, please feel free. Yeah, Olivia, go for it.
I just kind of want to link back everything that you said to our personal local group in Delaware that we have. We've been working very hard to reach out to our local legislation about implementing renewable energy. We were a big supporter of Senate Bill 33, which was passed to increase the amount of renewable energy certificates required in the state to 40% by 2035. We're also a big advocate for offshore wind and helping to get that implemented to create more renewable energy. I also believe our legislation group within Fridays for Future is working to kind of create a bill to pause the production of any refineries or anything that does not promote the use of renewable energy. So we find it very important and a great thing that local communities are getting together with their local governments to start making smaller steps and changes that will lead to the United States being a bigger step and leader for renewable energy. So we think that this is great.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, we have about 10 minutes until our next event. We're just going to keep talking. If anyone has something they want to share, you want to share your sign, you want to respond to something in the chat, please feel free. Really, any topic you want to talk about. We want to come together and we want to motivate each other.
Hello, this is Frank Granda here, and I'm sorry to interject once again, but let me report something because I actually been checking in with the main FFF international community because as it turns out that our little shutdown is not just FFF USA, but it's also a representative of the FFF as a whole, because as I have checked, all their nations, all their FFF chapters, FFF International itself has all claimed the same thing, that we have crashed the internet. That it is understandable in all countries. It is now trending in Twitter, trending in Instagram. Internet Strikes for Climate is now becoming a meme within the FFF community. I'm just happy that we are now making great progress right now because it shows the solidarity of our movement, that we are able to strike together, and that if we all work and all make these strikes, that we can make a difference. And let me tell you that this damage of overloading the grid, overloading the system has shown that we can at least use the opportunity to grab attention, to at least show our movement and to at least make our movement alive, that this could be the start of a new renaissance for our movement within the digital era, within the post-COVID world. And I would say we cannot miss this opportunity once and for all. We have to take it.
Fantastic. Instagram down, hashtag Instagram down is now #1 trending on Twitter. So that is very exciting. So that just shows you what we can do. And I think that a really, really interesting part of the youth climate movement is how this movement has harnessed social media, right? And social media activism, while it can be performative, it's really important to take, the actions, to get in the streets when you can, to raise your voices, to highlight other voices, to do things to lift the movement as a whole. Like Instagram graphics are not enough, but it does show you the power that the internet and that social media does have as a mobilization tool. So that is super exciting. Again, I'm going to plug our social medias. Our Twitter is FFF_USA. Our Instagram is Fridays for Future USA. Please, we took these amazing photos, right? Like take a photo, take a selfie with your sign, post on Instagram, tag your local elected official, say like, we want this, we demand this, tag us, we want to share your story, we want to highlight your work. We are very excited about all the people that are joining us today. All right, is anyone else ready to share?
I was just gonna say, like, wait, can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that this is unrelated to, like, taking action, kind of, but I literally can't post anything on Instagram at all. I'm trying to post it about this. This is breaking, so I've resorted to using Twitter.
That's pretty freaking cool. All right. Yeah, the comment in the chat, absolutely. Yes, direct action and online activism, using them together is really important because you want to get the word out, right? But you also want to, looks like Oh, Facebook may or may not be also. Love it. Taking them down one by one. That's great. Okay. Perfect. All right.
I'm sorry, did you say that was Instagram down or internet down?
Yeah, Twitter is reporting that Instagram and WhatsApp, which are common platforms used for, like, a lot of activists like to use WhatsApp and then obviously Instagram to share, looks like they are having issues.
But that hashtag that's trending is what, Instagram down or internet down?
It's Instagram down. It's trending on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Thanks.
pretty exciting. Maybe we'll hear a little more on it. I don't know. All right. Anyone else excited to share?
Sure, I can share if that's all right.
Yeah, perfect. Take it away.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I've actually wanted to talk about this before. One of the reasons that I was never, actually, I really wasn't into environmentalism or, climate change and stuff. I kind of accepted the science as an atmospheric scientist, but I really didn't get strongly motivated to participate in things like this until after my mom actually died from a terminal illness about 5 years ago. And while she was sick, I actually saw something whenever me and my dad, we actually had to go back and forth from hospice to actually take care of her. And what was going on at the time was that there was a bunch of clear cutting going on. And my mom always hated, when people just wasted things and just threw things away and not really even use them. So whenever I kept driving to and back from my hospice, from that hospice when my mom was sick, I saw these trees being burned down and clear cut, and they weren't even used for anything. It was just, clear cutting a space. They didn't even sell them for mulch or anything. And they were just burning them in there. And I thought, and my mom was actually, reason I'm such a strong leftist is because of how my mom was treated by the US healthcare system. I made the connection between, okay, how the system treats those trees as waste, they also treat people as waste, and especially true during this time of COVID. And seeing, when I was talking about Earth Haven Eco Village, directly connected to nature and the environment. So seeing those two types of things going together is really shaped my views on environmentalism, ecology, and is a reason why I embraced, such strong left-wing green views. And movements like this, I feel, really take those type of really organize people towards that way of thinking and ultimately towards the better world that I think is truly possible. Where those beliefs came from my spirit. Sorry, I kind of stumbled there for a little bit, but I really feel that groups like these really do prefigure the type of world I want to see given that I have.
Thank you for sharing. We're so glad that you were able to join. And yeah, no, I think that one thing that I'm really interested in is policy, right? Because I think that policy is viewed as a very adult topic. We're told that, in the US, you can't vote till you're 18. You're told that you kind of just have to suck it up and wait until you have your ability to speak, until you have your vote. You can't really do anything. You can't make your voice heard until you're 18. And I was just able to vote in this last election. I just turned 18. So being a member of the climate movement, I joined the climate strike movement and environmental activism right out of middle school, right? So I've the past 5-6 years, I've struggled with that idea of not being able to vote, of not having my voice heard in our legal system and in our governmental systems. But I think that policy is a topic where youth really, really need to get involved, because I think that, we need fresh perspectives. We need new people to bring their ideas and to share the ways we can make the world a better place. And I don't think that policy should just be reserved for adults. I think that kids, as you're seeing, have some really, really important things to say. So, yeah.
And I'll be fully open. I'm also a member of the Democratic Socialists of America, part of a caucus called the Libertarian Socialist Caucus. And it's not, right-wing libertarianism, but anti-authoritarian socialism. And that stresses direct action over everything, over, voting and electoralism, as I have some issues with electoralism. So my politics and what I actually advocate for are purely direct action and mobilization of the working class and marginalized groups against oppressive systems.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, the best thing we can do is just make sure everyone's voices are heard. So that is awesome. All right. It looks like we have one more Fridays for Future local group. Adrian should be here to represent Fridays for Future Chicago. So Adrian, if you're ready, you can take it away.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm in downtown Chicago right now, striking. Our movement's working to, do everything that Fridays for Future USA is doing, and then also stop General Iron, which is a company here that's moving to the south side of Chicago that'll cause more pollution in an already polluted community. So, yep, I'm here. I'm doing the thing. Yeah, good luck, everybody.
Thanks for sharing, Adrian. All right, amazing. Okay, in the next few minutes, we're going to transition to our next event. All right. So we have a few more minutes, so feel free to just chill out. We are going to bring on our next event. If anyone wants to share one last time, a couple more people before we wrap up. We're going to have some more community time later after the speakers, the digital rally. Yeah, Gracie, do you want to share a little more about that?
Hey, my name's Gracie, and I do work with my local Food Not Bombs chapter, Upstate Food Not Bombs in South Carolina. And like every Monday, we have shares where we give out free lunches to our local unhoused community and local income community, or low income community, and we support our trans folks and our LGBT community and Black Lives Matter and all of that, and support protests and focus on whatever the direct need in the community is, but the main focus is food and to grocery stores locally and get produce and other food items that they would otherwise throw away, not because it's old. And sorry, I'm nervous. I know my voice is shaking. Otherwise, food that is good, but otherwise would be thrown away. Like, we don't necessarily dumpster dive or anything like that. We go to these farmers markets, groceries, everything like that, and explain to them that they can provide us with these food that we can give directly to the people who need it most. And it's not that hard. You can do it with you, your friends, your family. You only need a couple people to help. So it's something good that you can get started or find one locally. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. I didn't mean to totally put you on the spot. My apologies, but that was fantastic. And no, food waste is such a huge issue. Like, that is such an underrepresented topic that people need to be talking about. So thank you so much for taking the time to share that. All right. Yes, thank you so much. And the chat is all perfect. Yay, show some support. Amazing. Okay, so our next event is going to be our MAPA Roundtable, which is the most affected people and areas. So this is going to be a panel of activists from most affected places or people and areas who are going to be talking about kind of being a climate activist in the climate fight outside of the United States. So we find that oftentimes the climate movement has a very global north-centric or US-centric standpoint, where we see a lot of white activists highlighted and a lot of people from wealthier countries highlighted. But we need to recognize that a lot of these global north really wealthy countries are the ones that are perpetuating the greatest amount of harm and the ones that are causing most of the pollution and most of the issues that we are seeing manifested in the climate crisis today. So this panel of activists is going to be incredible. Get excited. They're going to come on in just a couple minutes, and we are going to, Fridays for Future wants to use our platform to give US activists a broader view of the climate movement, because the climate movement is not just happening in the United States, but it's also, we need to recognize that activism is a privilege, right? Like, not everyone can go out and strike, and a lot of people are not able to voice their concerns in their governments. Out of the top 4 polluting countries in the US, that's the United States, China, Russia, and India. 3 of those 4 countries are authoritarian states where activists are in danger if they speak. So it's really important to recognize the privilege that people have to voice their concerns and to protest and to stand up to their government, because these civil liberties are not extended to everyone. I just saw a message in the chat, forgive me again, but start a local group. We would love to have you. We are looking to expand the Fridays for Future local groups across the country. If you go onto our website, under the local groups tab, you'll see a map with local groups and ways to contact them, social medias, etc. If you don't have a local group near you, find some people on the call here today who might be near your area, and we can help you make one. The national structure is all about providing resources. We've spent a long time preparing for this event and preparing for this launch, and we have all the resources needed for people to create a local group. You just have to say, I have the initiative, I want to do it. We will help you all the way through. All right, so if you want to do that, that would be awesome. And now we are going to highlight our MAPA Roundtable, so get excited.